What's going on, guys? Quinn69 here. How you guys doing today? As you can see, today I'm going to be bringing you guys a guide on the Static Discharge Monk for solo gameplay due to popular demand. So yesterday I released my group version of this guide, and we were doing groups, and it was really overpowered, and we're just being basically a god. It's a build that stems all the way from China, and basically we modified it to do absolute max damage in groups. And then anyway, everyone was raging, telling me to do some solos, so we just literally got the group build and changed a couple things around, and then here we are. This is the solo build. The first attempt of a GR70, just one-shot it. This is a GR74. The build itself does not require much RNG to basically complete rifts. This is what makes the build so damn awesome. All you need is basically, you know, monsters that are relatively harmless, like zombies and stuff. And you just need density, and it just absolutely destroys density. It's just broken as hell. So let's go over how it works, and what you do, how you play the build. Pretty much the entire thing, if you guys don't know, revolves around this ability here: Fist of Thunder, Static Discharge. You punch a monster, it debuffs a monster for 6 seconds, and it gives all your abilities a chance to proc this thing called Static Charge. And Static Charge hits for like 3 billion plus per hit. We are also using the ability, you know, where the 100 Fist of Fury has the most overpowered proc coefficients in the game. So you pretty much, the basic strategy is to walk in, punch with Fist of Thunder. So you just want to go around and debuff everything with Fist of Thunder, and then you want to start Fist of Furying things. And the Fist of Fury just makes, see how the lightning has arcing? That's what happens. That's the pretty much the basic strategy of the build. We are also using Shenlong's set, so they are the new, your updated fist weapons that make your spirit generators insane. Obviously, the Static Charge debuff scales with your spirit generating abilities, so that makes it multiplies everything, and that's how the build works. So you do need Breath of Heaven. The build is running the same as group, so it's literally only just enough CDR to maintain Breath of Heaven, 100% uptime. That way you can see my spirit. We'll generally sit at full if I'm punching things and my Flying Dragon's not being a dick and it's actually staying procced. Then of course you're using Focus and Restraint, so you're going to be using the 4-piece raiment, which means your dash consumes spirit, which means it procs the restraint. And then you're using a generator, so that procs the focus, so then you're getting both multipliers and you're really overpowered. So you are going to be wanting to dash every 4 seconds. So you see here my dash buff is pretty much, unless I screw up, like right there I screwed up, so I haven't dashed in long enough, have I? Oh my god, I'm so bad. You want to be dashing at least every 4 seconds to maintain the dash buff, depending on whether you're using blinding speed and radiance. I will go over the ups and downs of both setups, you know, when I go over the gear. There is definitely some, it's pretty hard, it's hard to definitively say which is the best setup for dash, so we'll be going over that. It's kind of advanced. And then we're using Epiphany Desert Shroud. This is purely for whenever you get insane density, or whenever you get like an elite pack that you're engaging, and it's really annoying because you have like absolutely no cooldown reduction, so you have to be really decisive as to when you're going to prop Desert Shroud. As this build is not the standard build that everyone else is running, this is a build where you do not use any cooldown reduction. It's literally the group build, absolute max damage, and you're just putting it into the solo. It can be quite annoying to play sometimes, as you know, you can get constantly knocked back and you can get screwed over by everything. But you'll reap the rewards when you get a good rift, and you just literally go, and the whole screen just melts in like literally 2 seconds. It's absolutely ridiculous. You're also using Mantra of Salvation, Agility. This is purely for survivability, as this is one of the best passive buffs in the game. You can definitely activate it like every 3 seconds, whenever you're in danger, whenever you think that it's getting really dangerous. So generally I'll activate my Mantra whenever I get crazy density, or whenever I see like a grotesque explosion going off, or like something I know I can tank, but I don't want to get absolutely global and one-shot by, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much the gameplay. That's pretty much the strategy. Debuff everything with Fist of Thunder, and then punch it with Fist of Fury. If you do that, so have a look here, watch this. So debuff, everything's got the, see how the lightning arcing, now Fist of Fury, and everything in the screen is just melting. You're like, look at that, this is GR74, remember guys. This is really high. Really damn high. It's really insane how fast it goes. Quick thing to note as well before I go to the Garen Skills. The single target rotation for this build is literally, there is no COE because you're using Unity for solo. So when you get to the boss, it is literally just hold down Fist of Thunder and dash on cooldown. Obviously that's single target, so if the boss summons adds, then you instantly go back to the old rotation where you debuff with Fist of Thunder and then you punch with Fist of Fury. And you will kill my monk here at like Paragon 1300 with like, I've got like some 80 gems and some 70 gems. I kill a boss in about 2 minutes with a power pile, and that's gonna be like a 1 minute kill. If you can snapshot, if you're like a god and you can snapshot Flying Dragon into your Stricken. Oh god, I died. Okay, let's skip that. If you're a god and you can snapshot your Flying Dragon into your Stricken, and if you don't even know what I'm talking about, you should probably go into my videos and look at the Stricken guide and check out how to do that. You can actually kill the boss in less than that, in a 74. If I was to get like a good snapshot on my Stricken, and then I'd kill the boss in like 1 minute 30, 1 minute. It's insanely fast, like how much damage you do with this build. But otherwise, guys, that's pretty much the gameplay. I'm going to go over the gear and the skills, and we'll get this out of the way. Cool. Okay, guys, we've got a lot of stuff to cover. I'm going to go over a few variations and a few setups. So listen up carefully, boys. Listen up carefully. Let's do it. We're using Way of the 100 Fists, Fists of Fury. This ability has really high proc coefficients, and it scales with static charge like crazy. It means you proc static charge just out the absolute ass. It's really, really overpowered. Please use it. We're using Mantra of Salvation Agility. This gives us 35% dodge, 20% all res, and you can also activate it for a further 20% all resistance for 3 seconds. It's good to activate during high density or really dangerous situations. When they're using Fists of Thunder Static Charge, this is what the whole build is based around. So when you punch a monster, it debuffs it for 6 seconds. Gives you a chance to proc 180% weapon damage to any monster affected by Static Charge. This obviously means, a lot of people kind of miss this, the higher the density, the higher chance you have to proc it, and on top of that, you can also have more monsters affected by static charge. So generally, with skills, okay, density is good. It means your damage is going to be increased by a lot. Well, get that with static charge and then double it. That's effectively what it does. You'll notice you'll kill monsters significantly faster when there's density, and your damage will be very mediocre when there's not much density. So you have to realize this and understand this. It means you can't fight those little packs. You have to skip for density when you're doing solo great rifts, because just the way the ability functions. More monsters you have, the higher chance you have to proc it, and on top of that, you can have more monsters affected by the debuff. Well, then using Breath of Heaven and Fuse to Light, this gives us a ton of spirit regen whenever the buff is active. Because we're using Shenlong's Fist, our spirit's always draining, and it's really kind of like, this helps you against that fight to keep your spirit at full to do the maximum amount of damage, because you do more damage based on the amount of spirit you have. We're then using Dashing Strike Radiance. It gives you 15% attack speed. There is an alternative rune, Blinding Speed, but we'll go over that later and how you can use that. But generally, it's always better to go Radiance. When they're using Epiphany Desert Shroud, this is purely for the 50% damage reduction. I'm quite torn, boys. I'm quite torn. It's really hard to choose between Desert Shroud or Ascension. Both have insane utility. Ascension allows you to basically mitigate a lot of situations where you're going to die, right? Whereas Desert Shroud can mean, like, if you get like a crazy density room with an insane amount of monsters, you can effectively, go in there and just stand right in the center of the room and do a ton of damage. Whereas with Ascension, you can't do that. It just gives you little windows where you can, instead of dying, you get to live. And I'd say Ascension has maybe a higher skill cap, and maybe you can do more with it. But generically, Epiphany is going to be better just because you're going to have more uptime. And when this is up, it's pretty hard to die. So I'm going to say you guys can test it out and try out what you like. But probably Desert Shroud is going to be pretty good for the majority of you guys who just like to, don't want to get too complicated. We are then using Exalted Soul, so that increases the maximum spirit by 50, which means we get, you get 1.5% damage per spirit point, so you get a ton of damage from that. We're then using Seize the Initiative, gets you 30 item attack speed, which increases your Flying Dragon uptime, which gets you to the correct breakpoints in which you're supposed to hit, and it gives you a ton of damage, mandatory. We're then using Alacrity. This is a 15% attack speed multiplier, because it multiplies the base skill itself. Really, really overpowered, mandatory. We are then using Guardian's Path, okay. You can effectively ditch Guardian's Path and go NDE, but I find Guardian's Path gives you, in those absolute GG maps, when you're fighting a ton of zombies and you've just got crazy density, this is going to help you survive a lot more than Near-Death Experience. Whereas Near-Death Experience will help you live through... It'll help you live through, like, those one-shot attacks. I don't know. It's up to you guys what you want to choose here. Maybe you guys prefer NDE. If you're hardcore, I'd probably suggest NDE. But, you know, this is going to help you versus that crazy kind of density. You also can use Beacon of Ytar instead if you do not have the correct attack speed on your gear. The build I'm going to be covering today for solo is running a ton of attack speed, and you're actually not going to use enough cooldown reduction to maintain Infused with Light 100% of the time. So the attack speed is required to basically maintain your spirit during that downtime. So if you do not have correct attack speed rolls, you can use Beacon of Ytar, but I would suggest getting attack speed and actually using Guardian's Path. We then are using a Hellfire Amulet, which is mandatory for the build. There's too many good passives to miss out on. I wish we could have 2 Hellfire Amulets, maybe 3, you know, that'd be brilliant. But, you know, Hellfire Amulet and Harmony. Obviously, Harmony has more value than Exalted Soul. This is probably your weakest choice. I would say, if you did not have a Hellfire Amulet, put Harmony instead of Exalted Soul. Okay, let's go over the cube now. So the cube, the items we're using Flying Dragon, chance to double your attack speed when attacking. It's actually a bit of a lie. It actually increases your APS by 1.15. It's a coding error, but whatever. It almost gives you double attack speed, not quite. It's really, really powerful. Attack speed is required for this build. It allows you to, you know, maintain your spirit and gives you the kind of recovery you need from life on hit. It's just, yeah, GG. Don't switch out for a furnace or something, please. We're then using Eye of Peshkov. It reduces the cooldown of Breath of Heaven by 50%. This is how we do so much damage. It basically means you can drop all CDR off the build itself, so you just have no CDR whatsoever, and you just use Peshkov. And it gives you, I think it's like 83% uptime on Breath of Heaven, which is, it's enough to get you through if you have attack speed on your gear. We're then using Unity. It's a 50% damage reduction multiplier. Really overpowered. It literally doubles the value of your healing, doubles your toughness. You can't see it, but it's doing it. I mean, if that's it just doubles everything. Okay, OP boys. If you're playing in a group, then I suggest using the group guide. But yeah, pretty much just change it to COE if you're playing in a group. Okay, let's go over the gear now. So we're using Shenlong's fists. These bad boys here. Have a 100% multiplier, and then they have the spirit multiplier. It's insane, and it's what makes static charge actually do damage. Because obviously 180% is nothing, but when you put all these multipliers behind it, it becomes something ruthless as hell. The rolls you want on it are Dex, Vit, Life on Hit, damage range, and you want to have maximum spirit. And both your fists want to look exactly like this. I mean, if you have to choose, you're gonna want to have life on it in at least one of your fists if you don't have the perk fists, and then, you know, a percent damage or attack speed will be fine. We're then using 8 Demon's Boots because we're going for the Raiment 4-piece, so that way our dash actually procs our focus and restraint. So these are pretty much the best rolls you can get for the boots. Soak it in. Okay, then we're then using Depth Diggers, Dex, Vit, Ores. Depth Diggers always roll with Ore Resistance, so it kind of sucks, but yep, this is the best rolls you can get for Depth Diggers. Obviously, you do want to get, you know, that extra damage boost if you can. 100% added damage. Really, really nice. We're then using String of Ears. Because all the rifts you're fishing for, this is a solo greater rift pushing build, right? All the best rifts are primarily melee monsters. And this gives you a 30% damage reduction multiplier. Really, really overpowered. Really, really strong. These are the rolls you want. Dex, Vit, percent life, and then Fist of Thunder damage. I mean, you don't necessarily need Fist of Thunder damage. That is just effectively adding, you know, 15% onto your Depth Diggers. It's just additive. But, you know, all damage helps. And it's better than Armor Roll, I think. Then you're going to want to use Dex, Vit, Life percent. Obviously, Life percent increases your maximum life, and we're using a Simplicity Strength. If you guys don't know, we'll be going over that in a bit, and that gives you more healing based off your maximum life. So it's increasing your recovery, as well as your toughness. It's really quite nice. We're then using Raiment Shoulders, Dex, Vit, Ores, Life percent. You notice there's no cooldown reduction on there. We have literally stripped all CDR from the build, and just gone full damage output, man. Just full damage output. That 15% life allows you to survive and not be dead. You're gonna struggle to stay alive with this build, don't get me wrong, in the high graders, but that life percent is really, really powerful and really, really strong. We're then using Fists of Thunder. The idea rolls would probably... I can't make up my mind. I'm gonna be probably running it like this, boys. So like Dex, attack speed, crit, crit. That's very ballsy. It's a very glass cannon, and it's for fishing for very specific mob types because you're gonna die a lot. But attack speed on gloves is really OP. I'm gonna put so I've been talking to my buddy Racer. He's like a math beast, right? He's a complete mathematician of the German gods, and he's gonna put like a section down below, basically describing why attack speed's so good. It's all based around breakpoints and flying dragon uptime. And, yeah, if you want to, you can go attack speed on your gloves, but generically, a Vit is going to be, probably, I mean, it's a lot of survivability, and, you know, if you're dead, you don't do damage. But, yeah, this is what I'm going to run. As far as the rings go, the Dream Rings are actually crit, attack speed. I don't have crit, attack speed rings. This is all I have. I've got Dex, attack speed, crit, which is fine. It's like a mediocre version. But the main thing is you want attack speed on your rings. Obviously, you're dropping a ton of CDR. So because you're dropping that CDR, it means you don't have that much infused light up time. So you need the attack speed in order to maintain your spirit. On top of that, it gives you flying dragon uptime, which you can just check that out below if you want to know how that works. Cool. Again, you want your restraint to look exactly the same, crit attack speed, but I don't have that, so this is the best you can get. We're then using Spirit Guards, 40% damage reduction multiplier. It's up 100% of the time. You're always punching, so you're always going to have that 40% damage reduction. You want it to look like Dex, Vit, crit, and lightning damage, the dream. As far as your necklace goes, you want to have a Hellfire Amulet. These are the best rolls here, so crit, lightning damage. But if you have a crit, Dex version, that's fine as well. Preferably you'd have secondary resist, not melee damage reduction, because you're using Harmony, but that's fine. And your helmet here. Okay, my helmet is not optimal. The Dream helmet is actually no socket. Okay, it sounds weird as hell. For solo, because obviously in a group you're going to want, you know, like a experience gem, but for solo, you don't want the socket. 1000 Vitality has more value than 23% life for this setup, especially because you're using life percent on your shoulders and life percent on your chest. It relatively diminishes because it's adding together. If you guys understand what if you're picking up what I'm putting down. So yeah, the Dream helmet would be Dex, Vit, 6 crit, 30% lightning damage with maximum spirit, because that's increasing the amount of damage your Shenlongs, you know, yield. But this setup is fine as well. This is like this, you know, the alternative. It's not as good, but it does the job, sort of thing. And that is the gear. Let's go over the gems now. So we're using Simplicity Strength. Obviously, it increases your primary skill damage. It's effectively another pair of depth figures, which you can level up. And then on top of that, you get 2% of your maximum life back every time you hit. So it's like another life on hit roll. And we're stacking a ton of Vit. So this, you get more value. So the more Vit you get, the more healing you get. Like, think about it like that. It's pretty nice. We're then using Bane of the Stricken. That allows you to just kill like Rift Guardians in you know, under 2 minutes and like 74 plus, which is insane. If you don't know how to snapshot this bad boy, I would suggest checking out my Stricken guide, because that's going to increase your Rift Guardian kill by a lot. We're then using Bane of the Trapped. It's just a 40% damage multiplier, right? And the secondary procs the primary effect, so it's really strong. Okay, but there is an alternative. You can technically remove Bane of the Trapped, put Pain Enhancer in, okay? And if you're going to put Pain Enhancer in, then what you do is you remove, because Pain Enhancer gives you a ton of attack speed, there's a cap to your attack speed. It's 5 APS, and during Flying Dragon proc, that is a lot of the time, right? So if you're going to decide to use Pain Enhancer instead of Trapped, then you're going to want to take attack speed rolls off your rings, off your gloves. You can actually go from Dashing Strike Radiance to Blinding Speed, so you're going to get a lot of defense, and you're going to get a lot of additional damage, but it's going to be a lot less consistent build. It's going to be based around density. I myself am going to be running this setup, but this is definitely, Spreadsheets is a very strong alternative, you know, assuming that you've got crazy density for the majority of the Rift. Obviously, if you're playing non-season and you don't have access to a Bane of the Stricken, you can use a Pain Enhancer instead of a Stricken. That's the best alternative. Boom. Let's keep going. Paragon Points, maximum Spirit, boys. It gives you damage. It's the absolute priority for Paragon Points. Then you're going to want to cap out your movement speed to 25%. I have 12 movement speed on my boots, so I put 13 in Paragons. The rest goes into Dexterity. Then you're going to want to go attack speed. Cooldown reduction, probably. Hopefully you're higher than Paragon level 400 or whatever. Then crit chance, crit damage. Aura resist, armor, life percent, life regen. And then for utility, area damage is... if you guys watch my group guide, I actually remove area damage. But for solo, I don't think you can lag yourself out. So I think... Well, I mean, on Australian servers anyway, for me personally, I can get away with area damage. Obviously, area damage is still bugged out. They're fixing it next season. And then it'll be... The stat priorities will change entirely. But for now, area damage is really average. But yeah, so I would prioritize resource cost reduction, life on hit, area damage, go fine. Let's check my little list here. Skills, cube, gear, gems. That's it, boys. The guide is done. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And remember, there will be a written guide below. And my boy Razor's going to maybe put some math down there for you guys if you guys want to try and understand the APS breakpoints and the Flying Dragon uptime. But otherwise, I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Good luck in the rifts, man. This build is flippin' OP. I mean, the amount of damage it puts out is insane. You guys are going to have fun. It can be a little bit fragile, a little bit frustrating at times. I know myself, I get really pissed off sometimes, getting knocked back and just killed instantly. Ugh. But you're going to reap the rewards when you get crazy density map with like hardly any elites, and you're just going to absolutely destroy it. Peace.